Okay. Hey, girl. I
Hey,
haven't
hey,
used this in a
hey.
while.
I know.
Oh my God, I'm loving your room. It's
Thank
like,
you. Yeah.
yeah, it's so Rockstar.
It's my space where I can close the door and keep the kids out for a little bit. So
It's the best. I love it.
thank you,
And you
thank
look amazing. I know. I was on your journey with you. I was like, okay, you go, girl.
thank you. Thank you, thank you. You look very nice too. I like your shirt and your hair is luxurious.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It's the worst. We both kind of just were like, okay, let's just throw ourselves together and get off here.
It's right because we were not hitting it off for a little bit, and I was like, why does she keep messaging me at 1 in the morning? I don't know why I thought you were on the East Coast.
That was so funny. I'm like, where are you again? I can't remember. You're like Maryland. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Because you were like, I'm a night owl. And I'm like, what kind of night owl are you? Like, do you ever sleep?
I was saying that, but you were like, I'm a night owl. This is going to be perfect. Like, oh, cool. Oh, I have a light. Ooh.
There you go. Want to go this way?
Yeah, that way.
In a little
How's that?
My, yeah. Why is this so like tiny? You
in
notice that?
I did, yeah, it does look small,
Oh,
but I don't know if
I
it'll
did.
be small.
May I?
Yeah. Okay.
Leo.
Layout. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we
So
are.
much better. Oh my God. It was just like a little box,
That
a
is
little tiny
better.
box.
Is light cool?
Oh my God, so
The
much better.
dress.
I love your dress. Yeah, this is so much better. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. I love that dress.
Thank you. I have like four that are just slightly different from each other so that I can basically wear the same thing every day. But
Oh my, I used to wear a dress like that was like sarong. It was like sarong material
yes,
that I used to sell with my Yoga Chicks
I,
company, and it was like the most comfortable thing ever.
I I love comfortable, especially like a dress. You just throw on one thing, and people are like, "Oh my god, you look so good," and you're like, "I didn't do anything. I just literally one item on and done." Love that.
Me too.
Comfort and cuteness. That's the goal.
Me, it's like lately I've been all about the Gap, just throwing on some pants and a tank top. This is like a Gap tank top. I'm so
Cute.
over trying anymore. I just, yeah.
At the quarantine and the pandemic really shifted a lot of that like belief that you had to do this. I mean, we saw people that constantly had hair and makeup. It just, they were trying to do it on their own, and I think it mellowed people out a little bit, honestly.
It did in a good way. It
Yeah,
was like everyone just kind of became more down to earth and appreciative of what they had. And it
yeah,
wasn't all about like, Gucci, Prada, boo boo, makeup, all of that, hair extensions. It was
exactly.
just like, boom, we're just going to chill and relax. And some people got really depressed because we didn't realize that those were the things that were making them happy,
Yeah,
like covering up. I don't know. It's
yeah,
weird. Life is so strange that way.
it
What the
is.
hell is
It's a
going on?
journey.
It is. You have the best lighting. You're used to this. What is
Oh,
that? What do you have?
I have I got it on Amazon. It was like, I want to say it was like $150, and it's a
That.
big ring light. So it's like this big.
Oh, you're fucking stoked. I have like the worst light ever. I have like this little thing that's on my floor lamp. That's it. I used
Oh
to have good
no.
lighting. I used to do interviews all the time and I had some good lighting. I don't know what happened to it. My
Yeah, ring
roommate like
lights
was moved.
are essential.
Oh, it is. It's so good. You have the best lighting. Okay, so I was rewatching your fight with Brett and I was just dying. Tell me about that fight.
It was the craziest thing. I was
Dying.
so both uh I was tired of the way that they were treating me in the house at that time, and I felt very ostracized, and like it was kind of okay to just make fun of me in a lot of different ways, and I tried to talk to everybody that was there, but two particular people, especially Brett and Winston, every time that I would go into a room, they would stop talking and then leave it or get out of it. Hi, I'm on a podcast. Okay. I love you. Welcome home. Can you shut the door? Sorry. We have kids are coming home. You can get Isaac chips if you want some. And I love you. You got to, oh boy, fun. Wait to play that.
I know. It has a drum pad, so it's quieter.
All right, I love you. Thank you.
You're the coolest mom ever.
A drummer.
Oh my God, a drummer.
That's going to be fun.
Did you see that performance by Taylor's son at the tribute for the Foo Fighters?
No.
Oh my God. He's like a 16-year-old son and then Foo Fighters drummer, and I was dying. I was on the floor in fetal position crying. Like it was, you have to watch that.
Oh my gosh, link it for me because
I will. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, Avalon.
That kid is just like, I used to play the drums when I was younger because I wanted to be like Sheila E. or whatever. I wanted to be like,
yeah.
I suck.
My middle child's going into 4th grade and wants to play the drums. So I was like, all right, I guess.
No,
I love music. It's just, drumming is loud, but it's okay. So sorry. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Me and Brett fight. When I was in the Big Brother house, there were a lot of things said about me. There were a lot of things said about me out loud and very within earshot, even about like the punishment that I received and things like that. When I kind of zapped out on Brett, it was because it was a culmination of things. When I would walk into a room, he and his buddy Winston would just stop talking and walk out of it. Brett would do things like walk up to every single lady in the house and give them a compliment, and he would just shut up and walk past me. And he was just always saying things like, let's only keep the attractive people in the house. He told this story over and over and over again about ghosting an older woman because he had to go provide at 25. And he told it in this ignorant, like fake Native American accent and all this other stuff.
Oh my
that
God.
was just really...
I did not like them. I don't think anyone did. Like those two just were on my shit list from day one.
He had a lot of tacky behaviors. I mean, he was just right out of college, probably right out of a fraternity.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was probably acceptable in his friend group or whatever else. Who knows who
Yeah.
he's be. But when right before that happened, I was saying in the bathroom, when the feeds are cut off, I said to everybody, look, guys, I know they tell us not to do shout outs. And
What? Girl, what happened? Oh no. I've lost her. Okay, so I'm going to try to get her back. I can't really end this. I could edit it later. Because if I end it, then I'm going to have to start all over again, as everyone knows about StreamYard. There we go.
I am so
Oh
sorry.
my gosh.
There was a phone
It's
call
okay.
coming through. I'm so sorry about that. And I was trying to get rid of it. And then it just, we're going to get this.
Oh, it's the worst. Yeah, we're going to get through this. We've been planning this for like 2 years. Like we've been, it's so funny. I'm like, come on, Angela. And all along, we didn't even know that like you were in Maryland, I was in Southern Cal. I'm like, how did we not know that? We've been talking forever. That's funny.
We've been friends for quite a while, but yeah, no, I have no idea. That's so funny. It's so funny. All right, let me tell the story. I got it. Okay. So on the night of the On My Daughter's Birthday fight, this is exactly what happened. The feeds were cut. We were in the bathroom, and I said to everyone that was in the bathroom, look, I know we're not supposed to give shout outs, and I haven't done that. I was really trying to be in production's favor. So I was really trying to like follow the rules and whatever else, because sometimes they bring people back. You just never know. Anyway, I
Oh,
digress.
totally.
And I just wanted to leave a good taste in their mouths so that if another show wanted me or whatever, that they would be like, yeah, she was cool. Anyway, so
Snoopy's in there.
Was in the bathroom and I said to everybody, I know that we don't give shout outs. I'm doing it. It's my kid's birthday. And they were like, oh, I give shout outs all the time. I shout out my dog. I shout out my, and I was like, oh my God, my kids think I'm an asshole because I had not shouted them out once. So I'm like minding my business. I know I'm going to break the rules and say the shout out later. And then out of nowhere, Brett just makes up this lie about me. I was minding my business. I had already been on the block a couple times. Like I was chilling. This was a week for me to just sit and chill. And out of nowhere, this guy just says that I cornered him and tried to form an alliance. And he wouldn't even talk to me like during our time in the house. And that's what really offended me. I even said, I guess I looked dumb because all of level 6 knew, but I was saying stuff like, is he campaigning to you? He's not very good at this game. Why isn't he trying to get us to have his vote or whatever? Like I would say things like this to my side of the house and they just had they were like, yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, they just didn't know. I had really, really, really studied this game before I went in. And so I was picking things up that I saw played out. There was something, this has nothing to do with my fight with Brett, but I had watched so many moms go in there and get kicked out and say, but I cooked for them, but I cleaned for them. I didn't cook or clean for none of them people.
I'm not doing shit.
I was like, no. I did in the jury house because I was doing it out of like care and kindness, but I was not going to make that a strategy. Like I cook and clean for people all day. That is literally what I do. I'm a mom of 3 people. I'm not momming a bunch of 20-year-olds, which I mean, maybe strategically it would have been better. However, I was just like, I'm not
They were gonna
these people to kick me out. Like, no way. No.
Remember there was actually a cook in the house. What was his name? What season was that? There was an actual somebody that was a cook in the house.
There was a chef in that. I mean, I think there were probably several, but I can't think of which season that was on.
They kept him for a while because of that, though. But it was I can't remember his name, but he kept using that. And so when they finally kicked him out, he's like, "Wait, what? Who's going to cook for you now?"
Yes, exactly. I remember the different moms crying, and I was the only parent after Steve left. And I think that he was like, not any shade to step parents, they're absolutely amazing, but I think he was a step parent. Yeah. I think it's great to be a step parent. That's absolutely fabulous. But I was the only parent in the house.
Yeah, they were all young and
and they were all in their 20s, and they just did not give me my proper due. They would it was just so bizarre because when you go into the Big Brother house, no one knows anything about you, and you can tell them whatever you want. You could be your real authentic self. You can make up something. But a lot of times when I was trying to tell them who I was, they would laugh at me. There were certain times where I think it was Rachel had on a pair of pants that she let literally everyone try on. And I was like, let me try on those pants, because I knew that my ass would look great in them because my ass was huge at the time. I had just had a baby. And they were like, yeah. And then they said something and I was like, I'm a size 2. And the entire house laughed at me. And I said,
my God.
I said, okay, all right, well, you guys will see. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I thought I looked great at all the sizes.
You did. I mean, you look good in them.
I tried to tell him. I was like, I just had a baby, like literally just had a baby. And it was weird. It was a strange.
It's very mean-spirited group of people, kind of like the what season was that with Aaron and those people? Remember that?
They definitely weren't that bad. I'm not going to put them in.
That was a whole other level.
At all.
Yeah,
but
that
they
was
were young and they were very much like fraternity, sorority mentality, which is fine. I was managing nightclubs before I went in there, and all of my employees had said to me, oh my God, they're going to fucking love you. You're so fucking cool. You know, this, that, and the third. But they didn't know me outside of that house, outside of being what they were considering was some frumpy weirdo, you know, like they didn't know who the fuck I was. So they weren't,
I don't think we saw you that way though. Like America loved you, but like we didn't know like what they thought. You know, we thought you were like cool as fuck and gorgeous and everything. But yeah, we didn't know any of that behind the scenes shit. We didn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot that when you don't have week one feeds, like there's a lot that can go on. And even I believe that the live feeders get the real story, period, or at least can piece it together. But I will give it to the people that say the live feeders don't see everything, in that every so often when the cameras are off or whatever, you might have a glance, somebody might look you up and down and that's never on camera. They might, you know, really give you a stank eye and you're like, okay, that's my cat.
Aw, let me see.
Yes.
Aw, so cute. Look at you. All my cats are all around me.
Her name is...
What's her name?
Solstice.
Aw.
She's a Tubbs cat, so it's like when day equals night, you know, a solstice.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. I love... My animals are my everything.
Yes.
What was I going to tell you? Yeah, the live feeds. We were talking about the live feeds, and I used to watch the live feeds back in the day, and then it got to that point where they kept cutting them off, and they would put cats up. You know what I mean, or something like.
Oh, they still do that.
And so I said, you know what? I'm not paying for that. I'm not going to pay for that. But I remember when Janelle and everyone was on, I would always have the live feeds because I'm like, okay. Remember the Operation Showmance, and I was like, oh, I have to see this. Yeah, that was brilliant with Dr. Will. He just got divorced, by the way. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that.
Saw it randomly, and I was like, oh, well, I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. I mean, it's one of those things because he's so vain, you know.
He is a character.
Yeah, he's good TV. He's good TV. I will give him that. Absolutely. He is. But remember the Showmance? They had him and Boogie, and with Janelle and Erica.
Yes, Erica.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I don't know. They're like Operation Showmance, and so they would like wooed both of these women, and like I don't know. It was amazing. It was a really good idea. But so you wanted to watch the feed. You're like, oh my god, I have to know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, like how could you not? You know.
Yeah. Feeds give a complete picture. They have to edit it. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So they can kind of put whatever their storyline is. When people talk about edit versus feeds, a lot of people say that I got like a not a great edit. Well, I've watched it. I mean, those were definitely things I said and did. I definitely said funnier things and did funnier things that didn't make it in, but they gave like my season, they gave JC the funny edit, or Brett the funny edit.
I want to talk about him later.
I had to be the villain because I wanted Tyler out, and Tyler was the hero. So the story they were telling was, you know, that's the story that they were telling. But if you watch the live feeds, you kind of saw that I was working through stuff, and I wasn't.
I wanted Tyler out too, though. I mean, as a viewer, I was like, yeah, they need to get him out, you know, because he did have that that game, that personal game, that you know, he was a threat. So I thought, oh, they're gonna have to get him out for sure. Like I didn't worry about like Winston and Brett because they were kind of jerk offs, you know. I thought, oh, they're gonna go anyways, you know.
Exactly.
I love when you did the pots and pan, you pulled like an evil dick. That was awesome.
So yeah, I actually was writing in my mind a rhyming poem that I was gonna do in like a house meeting. And JC was like, Rockstar, bang this. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he was like, I was like, it's been done. Josh just did it. He's like, well, don't you need instruments? And I was like, all right.
That's true.
I need instruments. You're right.
It's JC. That he's funny, but like I've heard some shit later. But yeah, that's funny. He's like Rockstar.
And funny, but he did encourage He was the worst though, because whenever I was like that whole side, they said stuff along the line. Okay, so I had a workout punishment. That's what I got. And they said, I guess everybody received the punishment that they needed. And they like, and I was like,
oh my God.
Like, I was so tired of these children, like, honestly. And that's how I was looking at them, because I was just like, first of all, y'all are mean. Second of all, y'all don't know who the fuck I am, to be quite honest. Like,
you don't know
you're
me.
talking to me like I need to work. Like, you don't even know. But there's no way that you can tell anybody. And if you do zap out and lose your shit, you look crazy. And
right, because nobody knows. Yeah. They'll totally edit it to just highlight you flipping out. They won't like show what they did to you to make you flip out, you know?
Exactly. There's not like that backstory. I actually was just tagged in a very large video about the cringiest moments in TV history, and it's me cussing out Brett. And I'm like, well, that's great.
That's so
and all,
funny.
But
it's kind of flattering though, but yeah, he deserved it.
He did. Yeah. He big deserved it.
That's so funny. So it was building up. And then you were like,
it was definitely a build up, and I was frustrated. I felt like there were people in the house that had never sat on the block, had never had to experience that. There were other options. Everybody kept throwing me up there. My own alliance didn't even really have my bet. Like, I was alone in there. I mean, Bailey,
it was bullshit.
Who was supposed to be my ride or die, won the hacker thing and took Scotty off. Like,
oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot about Bailey.
Alone. Like,
you had a fight with Bailey too, right?
No, with Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh no, she thought that I had lied and that I was working with Brett, but we didn't really have a fight.
Oh my God, that would have been actually brilliant if you and Brett secretly were working together, but like you showed that everyone else that you guys hated each other. Like,
oh my God. So it could have worked, but I could have never trusted him. He was always talking shit about, like, he was talking shit about me. I have a tattoo right here. I'm a Cancer. That's my astrological symbol. It also happens to be a 69. He talked about, can you believe that's a mother and she would have that tattooed on herself? What did she say it was? That's a lie. Like, I mean, they said some of the stuff that just like, oh,
why was he so obsessed with you? Like, seriously, it's like a mean girl thing, but why was he so obsessed with you? I felt like he was, like, it was an obsession with him. I don't know. It was weird. Crush.
We are just so, when we go in and you take these like psychological exams and you put down like, and they drill you and they call you and they say things like, well, come on, you have to dislike someone. There's got to be someone out there you dislike. And I said, all right, my mom's gonna kill me for saying this, but I cannot stand entitled white guys. Entitled rich,
I don't like them either. Yeah,
bags. I cannot stand them. I legitimately cannot stand them, and I won't get violent on TV, but I cannot stand that.
Yeah.
Like, and they were like, oh, boom, look at that. Let's make this hippie go off. Like, let's.
And you did, and we were all like cheering you on. We're like, yeah, you tell him. He just threw you under the bus too, and it was like, wait, what? You're like, excuse me?
Yeah,
that was funny.
That. Oh my God, that was such a crazy experience all around.
And then Caitlin, she looks like she reminded me of somebody. Caitlin's her face. She's like
Nicole Richie.
She looks just like her. I was so tripping out. I'm like, that's her in disguise. She's trying to act like it's not her, but it's her the whole time. I was like, that's her. The size, everything about her. I was like, okay, they're gonna tell us later. They're gonna tell us later that it's her or her sister.
Yeah, they look. I mean, spit image, like a lot like each other.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that they're not related, and maybe they are because Nicole was adopted, and her real mom and dad were in the band. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
They said that I read something recently actually that said that if you have a doppelganger, they probably are related to you down the line somewhere.
Yeah, and, exactly.
That's pretty crazy to me. So I like every so often someone will throw me that I look like Mila Jovovich, and I will take that
Totally.
because I don't. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you.
You do. Yeah, you totally do. And that's a good thing. Yeah, it's a huge compliment. People say Ava Green with me, and it's like,
Yes.
I didn't see it. I was like, Ava Green? I'm like, really? So I kept looking her up, and I'm like, but I have a big forehead, and hers is small, and this and that. But then I go, well, there are certain things, and my family's kind of has a little bit of something something in them. So I don't know. It's funny. Yeah, we all have one. We all have
Somewhere,
somebody.
and I think we're all like related to Genghis Khan or something. I think
Yeah.
he populated like half of the world.
Yeah,
And
like Elon Musk, like everyone's going to be related to him on some level. Everyone's gonna have a little bit of Elon in them, and they're like 20 years from now.
yes, Elon and Nick Cannon, we're all going to be descendants of.
Yeah. I can totally see that. That's so scary. And that's his goal too. I think that's his goal, is to like populate the earth with just little pieces of himself. That's how like full of himself he is.
So wild. That's so wild. I mean,
Yeah.
I have 3 kids. I only meant to have 2.
Mm-hmm.
I had a whole 10-year no pregnancy IUD that was,
Yeah.
that's the whole reason I even got on Big Brother, is because I had to leave my nightclub management job because I was like really huge. And then I was like, I can't go back to running a nightclub with a brand new baby. Running a nightclub, you're planning events, you're making schedules, you're running the floor, you're making sure you're doing liquor orders. Like it's too much. It's too much when you first have a new baby. And so I was like, what am I going to do? And Big Brother was my parents' favorite show. And my mom was like, well, Angela, you should really just go on Big Brother. And I was like, why? And it's even crazier because the first time I saw Big Brother, I was in Germany in 2000. And they were watching Big Brother, but it was like the green live feeds looking like nighttime. And I'm like, was ist das? Like, I don't know I don't understand what's happening. So then when I came back, I think it was my senior year of high school, that was the first year that Big Brother was ever on. Well, my parents were watching it. My parents are cool. They're a little square. I love them. And so I wasn't trying to watch their favorite show. I thought this had
nothing to do with me. Yeah, you're like, it's probably lame because my parents love it.
Yeah, exactly. So they watched it for years and years. I have my youngest child, Isaac, and my mom said, well, Angela, I just really think you should audition for Big Brother. And I was like, why? And she's like, $500,000. And I was like, bet. Okay. Yes. So then I sent in a tape. I had never seen this show before. I sent in a tape and they called me 2 weeks later.
And that was your first time?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because usually people audition again and again and again. And it's like, that was like just made for you.
And Daniel said he auditioned 10 years in a row.
Wow. I didn't know that. I like Daniel, actually. Yeah. I mean, eventually I'm going to interview him eventually. But like, 10 years. Like, I think Evil Dick said that he auditioned like 4 or 5 times. I can't remember how many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. They called me 2 weeks later. And
that's amazing.
At some point during the audition process, I was like, well, should I watch this show? And they're like, yeah. So
So like, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to study this.
Oh my God. So I started watching it. They suggested season 16. I watch it and my mouth just like dropped and dropped and dropped. And I called my mom and I said, Ma, exactly what about this backstabbing ass show did you think that I would be perfect for? Because I'm a real ass bitch, Mom. Like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing up on here. And she said, listen, you're a character. People will love you. Just be yourself. And I was like,
totally.
All right. And then I studied it. And I was just like, oh my God. And the only thing I thought, and I've said it to her, was when I finally watched, I think it was 14. And I said, please just don't let me be Jody. I just can't be out first.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, that's what you don't want. You're like, just let me last a little bit long enough to like have a fight with somebody or something. That was always my. I sent a tape. It wasn't a tape. Yeah, was it a tape? It was during the pandemic, and I sent in a little like audition video. I don't even know why I did it. I was just bored, and I was like, wouldn't that be funny if I just ended up going on and I never got a response and I didn't expect to because I wasn't like there was nothing interesting about me. I was like, you know what, I don't really want to go on the show because I could never do it. I could never because everything I think would come out and then I would be just tore apart all over Twitter.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I can't let that happen because I know myself and I'm going to be like, not saying racist stuff because I'm not a racist, but
Hold on.
and no one really is at heart, I think. I think it's taught, it's behavior, you know, like what with Kyle, I think it's just he didn't know. He's just that, you know what I mean? I think he didn't realize what he said was going to come off like that.
Oh, yeah, it's very, 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 I'm just shutting my door a little bit more. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Your background matters. Your background matters. It matters who
Yeah.
you associate with. It matters outside of the house. All those experiences come into that house, or lack of experience, or lack of dealing with people that
diversity in your life. Yeah.
It
insecurities, fears, all of it. It's like, and you're alone. You don't have phone. You don't, all any of that. So I was thinking, God, all you have to do is talk to each other or about each other, or you know what I mean? There's really nothing else to do.
Oh, that's it. All there is to do is shit talk. And the reason when people are like, why are they talking about somebody from 5 weeks ago? I'm like, they have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Legitimately, they are in this odd bubble of obsession, where that is all that you know at that point in time, and your whole focus is just, I want this money, I want to win, unless you're just there summer camping and don't know what's going on, which they do put a fair amount of those people on there too, maybe to
floaters
thing, maybe to keep it hot, I don't really know, but
I think like Alyssa, I think she's a floater and she had sex to stay in the house. And so I thought, okay, that was her gameplay. That was okay. She's still in the house. But yeah, it pissed me off when she broke up with Kyle because she's like, I just don't see us having babies together. I'm like, who said anything about babies? I'm like,
yeah, that's a wild,
right?
Not okay, you're a racist and you have a lot to learn, or you made a bunch of missteps, but I just don't see us having babies together, girl. Right? Like, wow.
Okay. You went there. I'm like, after like 10 seconds on the floaty, I'm like, oh, whatever.
I know that I couldn't see having a second or third time with that, let alone babies.
That's crazy. I laughed my ass off over that one. I'm like, really, girl?
Yeah.
I'm like, it was like, boom. It was like that. Like, but wasn't he a virgin before? Like, didn't he say he was a virgin?
I don't think he was a virgin. Maybe
I know he lived with his mommy.
He said something like he was, but then he wasn't. So I think he had like an experience maybe or two. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
I know people hook up on that show a lot, but I can't. That's the one thing that I'm like, I can see myself doing everything else. You know, maybe not the racism, but I can't see myself doing that on even, knowing that the cameras were going to capture it. You know what I mean? I can't even imagine.
It definitely happens. And it's definitely, after a while, just everybody is so, for lack of a better word, horny. Like you're just in there and you're stuck, and it's not like you can really.
Can you get yourself off in the bathroom? Is there a way to like?
There's a camera in there. It's best to probably wait for the HOH shower.
Right? I was thinking about that. I'm like, where can you get yourself off?
Other than being in the bathroom that people are walking in and out of. And I guess you'd have to stand awkwardly in this small space that everybody's trying to use. Yeah, it's definitely.
So that's why people start fighting. I think they just sexual frustration and all of that. And then they get to the point where they're like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it on camera. I just because like how who was it? Jessica rode Cody. Like she was on top. She's like right. I'm like, hello, like the cameras are right on you, but she didn't give a fuck. She's like, whatever, like. And they're still together, and they have like 3 kids. So
yes,
you just never know.
That's wild, though. Well, there was one after I got out of the house. I saw was the person's name April? Somebody was getting tore the fuck up in there. Like, I mean, like
Yeah, I think
good.
it was April with what's his name? Oh God, what season was that? Oh my God.
I don't know. I just saw the after, wherever they put everything that they put everywhere, probably Reddit or some shit. I don't know.
I know. I'm thinking, do they give you rubbers? Do they give you like
there
they
are
do?
condoms? The condoms are next to the tampons, next to the pads, if that's your thing, next to the
what about towels and stuff,
Vaseline,
like things to wipe up?
There's Vaseline, there's condoms, there's deodorant. It's all in
the condoms next to the deodorant, the Vaseline.
Yes. I think one time we like blew some of them up and made like animals.
Yeah, I would totally. Yeah, like why not? Like balloon animals.
If had I been single and the right person was in there, I maybe.
I guess back in the day there was places that the cameras weren't. I think Boogie was saying that. And because Boogie totally got down, and so did I think. No, I don't think Will did. I think he was always in a relationship, or I remember him kissing and making out with Janelle or something. But I don't think they ever who knows? But Boogie definitely, and he said there was places like corners and stuff, or there was some kind of like storage. There was like a storage theme where like the padding goes for the pool chairs, and you could go in there. I'm like, how do you fit in there? Like you're all crumpled up, like.
Yeah. I think it's pretty wild, especially if you are headed to jury at any point. Then you could just hold off. I mean, I guess you could never really know that, but if you know that, then I would be. The jury house is nice.
I wish they would have a jury house show like after that, like just the jury house. I would watch it.
I would probably watch that too. The jury house is very different. It's a very decompressing. They really take care
just drinking. Yeah, they should drinking and hanging out by the pool and like having sex, and that would be more fun.
Yeah, definitely a lot more fun. They do not let you drink a lot. It's the same rules as in the house. So like maybe 1 glass of wine per whatever. You cannot get wasted at the jury house, but there's doors that close. There's beds. There's jacuzzi tubs. There's it is it's beautiful. Like they got us a manicure pedicure. I think we had a massage therapist come at one point. Like it was lit, and they really just take care of you, because when you come out of the big, like I feel kind of bad for the winners, honestly, because they get sprung back in to society, and all of us. Anybody that has the Big Brother experience is squirrely as fuck when they come out. Like we're all just like dodgy as hell. And like you could go to dinner with your family afterward and you're like, are those people talking about me across the table? Like you feel like you're going to be a victim it fucks up your head for a little bit. So I can't even imagine not having a little bit of that jury decompression.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine winning the money. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that having had the jury experience, it's really hard to understand how they just come right out, because it's
remember when Nicole like almost won the last time? I think it was the last time she was on
22
23. Was it 22 or she won like the season before, and she thought she was gonna win again, and she was like replaying her speech, outside by the pool. She's like, and I'm like, that's a little arrogant for her to say that, And then when she finally came out, when she got evicted, she still hadn't processed it. And then there was the audience, and there was like, was there an audience? Was it during the pandemic? I'm trying to remember if there was an audience.
Pandemic. So
Was it? Yeah.
yeah.
But her leg was going like this, and she was like, it was all like going through her head. Like she was still like, and she was like twitchy. She was like,
yeah.
like, you know, like she still hadn't processed everything.
It makes a lot of sense to me that would be
Mhm.
so fucking weird. I came out to a live audience and you're just looking at like
Mhm.
people, like you haven't seen people at all that you would
And you're
catch.
still in game mode too. You're
Yeah,
probably
and
still in
you're
game mode.
just even in the jury house, you're still like you're replaying everything.
Mhm.
I mean, I was rather obsessed because I really, really wanted to win. And I wanted to win because I live in a nice county and I rent an apartment and I wanted to buy
Mhm.
a house so that my kids could grow up here
Of
and I could
course.
have a house. Like, period.
Mhm.
I don't want to say I had a grander or more lofty goal than anyone else, but I did have legitimate people responsible that I'm responsible for. And none of the other people there did. So I was very, I was just like trying to calculate the entire time. And even in the jury house, I was just like, oh my God, like I could not chill. And even when I got home,
Yeah.
I was a little like off, but not in a bad way, just in it really messes with your mind kind of way.
Absolutely. Your accents reminded me of all my relatives because you're so close to like I'm a Philly girl, you know, and you kind of have that same accent.
Yeah, I think it's like a East Coast thing. And
Yeah.
Maryland's funny because, there's a meme that always made me laugh. And it was like, is this the North? Is this the South? Maryland.
Right.
Because we're really in the middle of like
Everything.
right there. But then New York is right there. And it's.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like there's, I'm like looking at the map because I've been like, how far? You're like Maryland, Delaware and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're kind of.
Philly's not far.
No,
like
it's not.
I think.
Yeah, in Baltimore, I have family that came here from, overseas, Europe, and they ended up in Baltimore, and then like some ended up in Maryland and then Philly. And so when I look at the map, I'm like, God, just the East Coast, that's where everyone came pretty much. They probably they first went to New York, probably, and then they kind of spread out through that area. But your accent's very similar to Philly. Not as bad as like New Jersey. New Jersey, like that's a really strong accent.
Yeah, they
New
have a
Jersey.
very, very strong accent.
But they're all different. People don't realize that. Yeah, that like they're every little place there. You would think that they'd all be the same, but they're not. Just like in the UK, like different parts of the UK have different accents.
Oh yeah, I mean even like Pittsburgh to Philly has a different accent. They say
yes.
Like, what are yins doing or something? And that means like, all are you guys? And
it's more whiny, like in Philly. It's more, yeah. It's so funny. I used to come back, we'll go back to like California, and I'd, be stuck in that Philly mode, and people would be like, what is wrong with you? What is going on with your accent? But you're also just more feisty. You're just like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Like you're from Maryland. You don't mess with me. Like you're on Big Brother. You're like, yeah, what? Like you're a Maryland girl, like that's
true.
You're not two-faced. You'll confront that person,
We do. Like you don't around here. Like you just do not with any of that. So
yeah.
Well, you don't tolerate no shit, like period.
I'm not playing. I remember like in grammar school, we moved there when I was like, in grammar school. My dad got his transferred, but we go back once a year. Every year we go back to see all the family. But I remember these kids came up to me and they're like, did you write something like this in the bathroom? And when you're bored in the bathroom, you write stuff. And like, I think I wrote that this girl smoked, and I'm like, so-and-so smoked. And she was like the mean girl of school, like the popular mean girl. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I said it. Like, I just admitted it. I'm like, yeah, I said it. Because looking back, I'm like, I probably should have denied that.
Right. No, that's how we are around here. Like,
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what? I said it. They're like, oh, we just wanted to know, are you going to clean that off? I'm like, no, I'm not cleaning that off. No. They hated me. Like, they freaking hated me in grammar school. It wasn't until like junior high that I became kind of cool, but like, yeah. Because we tell it like it is. We're going to tell you like, yeah, yeah, I said it. No, I didn't say it. What?
I feel like East Coast is very real. And
Mm-hmm.
whereas
Yeah.
I don't know what other places are like. I really got to know about the Midwest through the audience of Big Brother.
Yeah.
So I've never been out the Midwest. I don't know
Me
anything
neither.
about it, but I definitely know quite a bit about the people because that is a very big fan base of Big Brother.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. And through that being the main fan base, I think that they've gotten over the past couple years to learn a lot of things. The way that I was speaking or the things that I was talking about when I was on my season of Big Brother, I had just marched with Black Lives Matter in Baltimore for Freddie Gray. So I went on to that show and I was like, microaggression, and these people.
Yeah.
And I came out of my season to people calling me racist against white people. And I was like,
Wait, what? Reverse racism?
You can't even do that, first of all.
Secondly, yeah.
I'm white. Thirdly, y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Well, then the pandemic happened and then all this other stuff happened. And then it just,
that was crazy.
It just, I think that people understand me more now and they understand a lot of things more now that they just didn't grasp before. So it's kind of been interesting to watch not just an evolution of the show, but an evolution of the fandom that
it's crazy. People really, really are obsessed with that show. And so people get really passionate. And so either they really, really like you or they freaking hate you and they want you dead.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I always have to jump in and go, it's a show. It's just a show, just calm down. Or I join accidentally, like I don't even know I'm doing it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like her either. Da, da, da. Then I'm like, okay, I don't even know her. Why am I saying this? Like it's funny.
It is the strangest show because it is participatory in the way that you could legitimately fall asleep with these people for 3 months out of the year if you felt
and you feel like you know them, like they're like family at that point.
They don't for shit, but you feel like you know them and you've developed a relationship or this bond or even love for these people. Not in like or maybe like
a weird way, but you love them. You're like, that's my girl. That's my girl.
I fuck with them. Like, oh yes, I'm rooting for you. Like, and they don't even the craziest thing to come out of the house and to just for people to even know who you are. There are times in that house where you're like, is this even really recorded? Does anybody watch this? If because my season had several recruits, that was a conversation we were having a lot. I would be like, well, I know my parents watch this, but none of my friends watch this show. Like, is anybody watching this? Are people really going to who we are when we get out of here? And they do. They do know who you are.
Yeah, I love the fans, but like, a lot of them don't watch my channel. And I like sometimes get passionate and I want to talk about something, but I'm like, hey, people, anyone here to watch Big Brother? And most of them are like, yeah, I don't watch that. No, I don't. I'm like, you need to start watching it because I need someone to talk to. So it's weird. But then when the people that do is such a large amount and they know who you are and they're like a huge fan or they're like hateful and mean and you're like, like, why are you being like that towards them? You don't know them like that. Yeah.
They will not be mean to your face. They might ignore you at like an event or not come up to you. But they won't be mean to you. Not to your face. They just won't. They won't.
I don't. But I've had like people where like say like, oh, I went up to them and I said, and like, no, you didn't. You didn't do that. Like people on Twitter, they're like, I ran into you at da da da, and it like, no, you didn't. You're just talking shit. You're just talking.
I don't think that. I mean, at least that nothing like that ever happened to me. Like the first time I went to Hearts of Reality, because I was not right off of. I think that I've grown my fandom, if you will. Right off of Big Brother, they were not necessarily feeling me like that. for X, Y, and Z. I think it was just all about Tyler, and the people knew who I was, but they still didn't really know who I was. So it was
I forgot about that obsession with Tyler, and yeah,
6, like,
yeah,
and so when
it
I
was.
to the first Hearts of Reality, which I'll be going to again, and I was super excited about, there were plenty of people that were just kind of like, can I have your signature? Like, they didn't give a fuck, but they weren't saying anything mean. But I'm an energetic vibes kind of person. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
6 fan, I get it, whatever.
yeah.
Here's my signature. But they didn't say, they weren't like, nobody said anything.
It's
They'll
probably
say
mostly on
online
Twitter.
all day they'll say it online. But over the years, I've really started talking to the trolls because they kind of fascinate me. Like the ones that are really wretched, like awful. I will DM them and be like, "Are you okay?"
I know. It's like, what's going on with you? Yeah.
All right.
You okay? Yeah, what's up? I have trolls, and I don't even.
They're not okay.
I don't understand them. I don't. But you guys get trolled so hardcore, like the trolling. But you have fans too. I was, on. I noticed somebody said, "Oh, I'm a huge fan of yours, Rockstar." It was like a few days ago. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like people forget how like freaking awesome you were. And I mean, I think I was always a fan of yours, and I always was rooting for you, especially when you went after Brett. I'm like, fuck yeah, go girl.
Yeah.
And there's always someone around to high five. Like, yeah, that she did it. But yeah, there's always going to be the trolls. They're crazy. They're who knows.
That's true.
But, right? There's always.
I always try to remind people, both the trolls and the alumni and anyone else that'll listen, that is a person on the other end of that screen.
Yeah.
That's a person. Like, I know that we can say, ignore them, don't give them any attention, blah, 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 blah. And you know what?
Don't be the troll.
There's time for that, for your own mental sanity. Because there's so many more of them than there are of you. You're one person. Yeah. There's hundreds of people adding you and saying shitty shit to you. But that is a person that is doing that. And so it came to me to be a point to be like, are you okay?
Yeah, what's going on in your life where you feel the need to attack me?
You want to talk to someone? We can talk. I'm offering, we can talk about it if you'd like.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
That's a really good idea to kind of confront the trolls on that level. Yeah.
Seriously, because they are real people. And it also confuses them, and then it kind of like immediately takes the shield
They're
down.
Like abort, they instantly
they either back the fuck out and block you, or they say, actually, no, I'm not, or this is what's going on, or I'm looking, or I don't like myself, or XYZ. And it's very easy to be like, well, this isn't the most healthy outlet for you to work.
Yeah, maybe you should get off Twitter for a while, and maybe until you get therapy.
I love therapy. I think therapy is so better.
Me too. And I'm all about it. I'm all about medication therapy. You need that. So okay, my roommate wants to know, because he wants to be on the show really, really bad. He wants to know, how do you survive in a house with one bathroom?
You just hope for the best, honestly. When you get there, there's 16 people. I am not a private person, except when it comes to using the bathroom. I will talk to you about any fucking thing you want. You want to talk about sex, you want to talk about labor, you want to talk about, you can ask me the most intimates of intimates, but do not ask me what I was doing in the bathroom. That is
don't go there. Yeah.
I do not. So it was very, very humbling.
But how do you know, what if, because I know that there's competitions where you guys have to eat things or really gross, disgusting things. And do you have to wait in line for that? Or do they give you the porta potty? Or no, there's no porta potty. You just have to wait.
There was a time, our first week, where we all had a stomach virus.
Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Just a constant rotation of us running into the bathroom. It was awful. And I was so that they could not have been the more humbling experience for me personally, because
Yeah.
I do not with that. So I'm like running past these 20-year-old. It was the worst.
Did you just want to cry? And did people go up to the HOH room too? So they like split it or?
Now our house was very accommodating in that way. I don't know if other people are, but as soon as we had an HOH room, everybody was pretty much like, yeah, go use that bathroom. That's fine. You know, and people were basically using we basically had 2 bathrooms as long as there was an HOH. So that was really cool about the people in my house, because that was the thing that continued. You could just go up to anybody who was HOH and be like, hey, I don't go to the bathroom. And they'd be like, cool. You know.
And were you always kind of like felt conscious when you had to be in there for like an hour? Like were you like, did anyone knock on the door? Was it like weird?
I think the weirdest thing is that one of the most comfortable places to hang out is the bathroom. The couch there is just sink into it. And so you know that anytime that you're going into the bathroom, there's like
people are right there.
People just sitting right there. And that's very interesting. And then also, when you're sitting right there, there's part of you that knows that somebody's, I mean, you know there's people in the, it's like, but you kind of, eventually all those cares just go out the window, and you might even be eating in the bathroom while that's just the most couch, or it was during my season.
Yeah, see, I never knew, like, if I was going to be the type that would be like, I'm just not going to eat because I'm not going to be, go in the bathroom. Like, is there people in the house like that are like, I'm just not going to eat because I don't want to have to go to the bathroom? And, like, especially certain foods that would trigger it, like spicy foods or oatmeal.
You can eat whatever you want. They pretty much provide whatever.
No, but are you thinking in the back of your head, like, what if I have to go, like, the bathroom if I eat this? Does that ever cross your mind?
Certainly, but you've got to eat. I mean, you would pass out, especially with the different competitions that they put you through. Like, you have to eat. You have to eat. There's no fasting during, but you got to eat. Even if it's just protein shakes or whatever, you've got to sustain your body. It's hot. They're working you. You're not getting proper, which is the craziest thing that I think. When you see the different punishments for things, and you see them like screaming and waking people up and doing all this stuff, and it's so funny with this campy music. Literally, like they're kind of torturing these, like, legitimately. As soon as you fall asleep, especially me, half of my ZRs, I didn't even remember saying half the shit that I said, because I would stay up all night just scheming and plotting and trying to figure out, all right, I know this is going on. How do I tell my alliance? How do I figure out exactly who the main player is? Is it not Tyler? Everybody keeps telling me it's not Tyler. I don't really talk to any of these people, so I'm going off of the words of the people that are talking to them. And I would finally go to sleep, and then I would like fall asleep, maybe not even to REM sleep. And it would be like Rockstar to the DR, Rockstar to the DR. And you would be like, come the fuck on. Are you fucking serious? Like, and I would roll over and try to like put on some sort of a makeup.
You're like, what's going on? I hate Tyler. Fuck him. And then you go back to bed.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes it's no wonder everybody's always crying, looking crazy, like you're sleep deprived. You're not eating normally.
There's always someone in there bawling, like,
it's a mental. They drive you nuts. Like, as much as they potentially, like, as much as legally possible, they fuck with you in there, and it's wild. And that's actually, out of everything other than the money, that was why I wanted to go in there, for the social experiment. Like, what, like, push me to my limits. Like, do it. I'm an adventurer. I love that shit. I love it. I love it. So let's see let's see what I'm like under pressure. Not good.
Wasn't there like some like experiment like that? Some like social experiment back in the 70s where people just lost their shit because they were being stuck in a house or something together? I can't even remember. It was crazy, but I think that's where they got the idea. I'm convinced.
Yeah, well, the Big Brother is from 1984. Orson Welles wrote.
Oh yeah, that's right. The term Big Brother came from that.
Yes,
yeah.
The cameras were all watching them all the time. Big Brother's always watching you.
That's crazy. But like the whole experiment, I was thinking like that is such a social experiment. It shows everyone's true colors, but at the same time not, because in normal reality, in normal life, people wouldn't act that way. So it's like an amplified version of who they are, but also like how much time you have on your hands to think about things and
what you
it's like,
and what you, I mean, it's so wild. And I never mean to be elitist when I say this, but it's truly something that you can only fully understand if you've been through. And
exactly.
There's no, even production tells us, and they watch the whole time. They're like, we have no idea what this is like. We've watched it, but we will never know what this is actually like. Like production says that, and it's true. And it's why we alumni, maybe we like each other, maybe we don't like each other, maybe we're all trauma bonded, but we certainly all understand each other on one way or another.
Okay, so he wants to know, did you experience time of boredom? And so if so, how do you get through them? He's just preparing himself for when he's going to go on eventually.
There's a lot of boredom. There's a lot of boredom. You need to have stories loaded up to tell. The unfortunate thing is if people start saying like, oh, you've already told us that one. And you're like, oh, sorry.
You're like, no.
And then, then you try to shift. I mean, really, you end up just talking shit on each other because that's all you know after a certain
right.
Is just
what else you gonna do?
How much you can or can't stand somebody, or how much you miss them, or how the direction of the game would have changed if they wouldn't have left. And
exactly. Yeah, so then I can see how people could get attached to each other super quickly and miss them and then get mad at the people that sent them out. Yeah. I understand that. It's like being on lockdown times a million or something, without internet, without
really, really quickly and really, really tightly. Like it's almost, I wouldn't say it's unbreakable, but it's certainly like in that time that's your family, that's your people, like that's all you have. You can't even talk to your people at all, so it's just these very instantaneous relationships that form, and it's wild.
And it's like love hate, because there's still people that are like mad about something that happened like 5 years ago, like how Janelle's still mad at Kevin, like there's certain things that's funny. I'm like, but I understand, it's like you're like, wait a minute, you're still mad about that?
I mean, I'm not still mad, but
you still
not talk. I mean, I don't think that we would.
Where is he? Is he even? I've never heard him.
Very popular on TikTok. I think he has a lot, like 500,000 followers or something. He's doing well.
Really?
He was just on an ad that played somewhere.
He's like, what, is he acting now, Brett? What came up?
I think he's just he's doing really well with influencing, but he's a young Studley, I guess.
I never thought so. I never thought he was attractive, and Winston was so arrogant. I could not stand him on that show.
Yeah.
Isn't he doing some ads too or something?
Yes, like dating ads.
Dating ads.
I think so, like Match.com or some shit. That's why I'm on Bumble.
Yeah. I don't even know what Match, I don't even know about any of those dating apps because I had some bad experiences in the past, like on like J-Date or something. I'm like, or what is it? Something fish?
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish. Oh my God. I had some really bad experiences, some really bad little dates. And I'm like, okay, fuck this. Like I'm just going to, randomly meet someone. It's going to be, no, yeah, because you could go on a date after date after date with some just total assholes. And that's what they do. That's their life, is like going on dates and dates and dates. And so they're really picky. And they're like, well, you had a booger in your nose, and so I don't want to see you. You're like something stupid like that. You're like, wait, what? Why didn't you just tell me? And I'm gonna go, like,
Yeah, dating's weird. It's weird.
It's weird.
I used to be like that though in my 20s. I had dating down to 2 drinks or 1 date. I could tell if it was going to go somewhere or not. And
Me
if
too,
at the end of the
in
2
my
drinks
20s.
I wasn't feeling like a chemistry, a vibe, I would just be like, so would you like to split the check?
Yeah, 20s were a whole other level of dating. Okay, you're frozen. What the hell? Damn.
Caused by unstable. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay, we're back. All right. What was I going to say? Dating in your 20s. Oh my God, don't ever date someone from work or someone that you know from work's friend or son or whatever, because I dated like the manager's son once because he would always come in and he was cute and everything. And he took me out for like this lobster dinner and I was like, but I did not click with him at all. And so I got shit for eating the lobster dinner every day at work after that. I was like, so how was that lobster dinner? I'm like, oh my God. And then the guy would come in and he always tried to look really studly, like he'd have his shirt up that like, and he would just dog me out. He would go straight to the bar and get a drink. And I'm like,
on a podcast.
Worst thing I ever did. Worst thing I ever did was date someone. Yeah. But yeah, back in the 20s, it was like, if you didn't click, you just didn't click. And so you didn't give that person a second chance,
Right. I don't know what it's like in the it's a lot different, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that it's like instant gratification. It's like, I want it now. Okay, so, oh my gosh. I love it. We've been going for over an hour. I could talk to you for hours.
I know. We might have to do this again.
Yes, part 2. Maybe after the season's over, we could talk about who won. But okay, let's talk about who do you want to win?
Okay, so I'm still rooting for Taylor. I really would like to see her go far and win. I think that would be great. I think she's got a good chance of winning if she's in one of those final 2 chairs for sure. I think that the jury is moving in that direction. However, I think Michael might win if he does not. If they don't get him out soon, he will win. And
oh my God, right? Get him out already. He's gonna win.
Just be because I like his girlfriend a lot, but
I love Turner.
I like Turner a lot.
He's funny.
He's funny. He's cool.
Easygoing.
There's not a lot of people. There are a lot of alumni that I really like, but there are not a lot of alumni that I truly understand.
And that you would hang out with after. Like, he's like everybody's BFF. Like, he's the guy that slept on my couch in my 20s. Like, he's that guy.
he's the guy we've already gone camping together.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
That Turner.
We took a road trip together. Yeah.
That's my realm of friends. So it's like
him and his girlfriend, you want to hang out with them and maybe smoke a joint. Just like
truly on here. Oh my God, I can't even believe that their theme was festivals this year. I was so jealous.
I know, because that was so you. I was like, that was her thing. Funny. Like, that would have been awesome.
I can't help but think that I may have,
inspired it.
Inspiration, some influence.
That's funny.
I'm gonna take credit whether or not I did.
I think you did. What about little okay, for me it's Turner. And for me Taylor's finally growing on me, because at first I thought she was using like the sympathy card, but she was ganged up upon. I think it had to do with her pageantry or pageantry. That's a tongue twister. Pageantry. But now she's kind of growing on me. I kind of like her. I wouldn't mind if she won. I don't want Michael to win just because it's obvious that he's going to.
Right.
That's a thing. I like him though. He seems like a really nice guy. I don't like Brittany. I think she's a floater. I don't hate her, and I'm not going to troll her, but I don't like her as a player. Let's just say that. Got to be specific.
I'm surprised that she's made it this far.
Right?
Honestly.
She doesn't do anything.
I look at every person, every new cast, and I think, how far would these people have made it with my cast? And they wouldn't have.
No way.
In my cast, if you were not a model, they did not want you. Truly.
Yeah.
that is how my cast was very, very, they were all athletes, they were all models. And that is what
I'm glad they don't do that anymore.
You were out.
But you were good at comp though. I mean, you kicked ass in the OTOP competition. Like you like had that going on. Like so you weren't like a floater. Like you you were doing something.
I was trying to be like a bishop on a chessboard. Like that would advise and then stay there because I was given all this wisdom. Now
like Paul was brilliant at that. God, Paul was such a good player. He got so played. He got so screwed. Because he was like that. He was just the one moving all, you know. I like Paul too. It kind of bums me out that he didn't win either time, but you know he's going to be okay. He's he's fine.
Very, very cool and travels the world and just lives their best life.
Exactly. Tell her too, like she'll be okay if she doesn't win. She's like, somebody posted something of her modeling, and I'm like, yeah, she's beautiful. Like she's a model. She's
she's stunning. She would have did very well in my house.
Oh my God, yeah. Because remember when she first? I think it was like the first episode. She was in like a G-string playing pool, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna be hated right away, like straight away. No one's gonna like her. Because I was even like, I don't think I would even do that. Like I would not be wearing that G-string, and you know, but you know, I think that's why she came off wrong to the women, because they were like, oh shit, this is going to be that kind of season, you know, like But once she stopped, you know, doing that, she hasn't done that since, I don't think. Now I feel like everyone's like, God, she's cool. She's actually really freaking cool.
They really ostracized her. Like they didn't even get a chance. I feel like you have to give everybody a chance. Like, if you were going into the Big Brother house, if I could talk to all of them, all the strangers that haven't even met each other, I would say have an open, honest conversation with every single
person.
Every single person. Find out their vibe. Have one conversation. What's your name? What's your background? Where are you from? What you got going on? And have that conversation with every single person in the house. Because too often you go in there and it is off of the vibe, and then it can just build into this whole other
majority, like the majority of people that are like talking about someone, and then it's like a bullying situation, like it became with Taylor. You know, you start, you don't, because you don't know Taylor, so you're like, okay, yeah, you're right, she's, you know, her and her pageants, and you know.
And she's fabulous, and she's actually really chill, humble, down to earth, like cool.
Yeah, she's really cool. Like I've been kind of paying attention to that.
The way that Daniel yelled at her, and then she just was crying, not because he was a total dick, but because she felt like she hurt Nicole. Like, what a no wonder she won Miss Congeniality and everything. She's very caring.
She is caring, and I understand where Daniel is coming from, because he was very protective over Paloma and Indy and his crew. You know, he was very loyal to them until the end. I think he still is. So for him, it was like she was the enemy, you know. So I could see why he kind of attacked her. I didn't think of him like, oh, he's an asshole. You know, I just thought things are getting to that point. They're getting heated. People are pissed off. Everyone went home. His whole crew went home, but he was dumb. The reverse psychology thing that was brilliant, because he told them what. Yeah, he's like, don't use the veto. He's like, don't use the veto, keep it the same. And then they're like, well, we're going to use it because he told us not to. But that's what he wanted them to do. So it was like brilliant.
But it would have been if his greatest ally didn't get kicked out through it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what were you thinking? So, but yeah, I don't have anything against, you know, Daniel for that. But she did handle it well, because she was just concerned that she might have hurt someone's feelings or something. And you know, then you start to see her for who she really is. And I just thought, well, stop crying, but she can't help it. You know what I mean? Like, she's an emotional person, you know, but I thought that was her gameplay. I was like, okay, this is good. She's good, because everybody wants to protect her now. So she's got that gameplay, because she's not winning competitions anymore, really. So it's like, but she's got a really good personal game too, though. So, I wouldn't mind if she won. I wouldn't be like, ugh, you know, Taylor, well, I'd be happy for her, you know. I want either Turner or possibly Taylor. Just
Yeah.
but Michael, I think it would be even because I think he should get out Brittany, and if they don't, somebody needs to. But it'd be funny if he turned on Brittany. Like, that would be like,
and maybe I don't know. I mean, he's definitely who they think is going to win, I think, or you know, and it would be
you can't get rid of him. But they've had so many chances and they didn't, so it's their fault.
It is their fault. That's how it goes. That's how I felt about Tyler. I was like, you guys, get him out. Oh no, he's fine. He's a gentle lamb. He's
a gentle lamb.
All right. Well, I don't talk to him, so I'm going off of your word. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Brett is the head of the organization. He's the one that's a dick. So I'm willing to shift there. Okay. You know? Yeah,
when Taylor came back, then you start to see, when he came back for the other season, you start to see, like, he's smart. Like, he knows exactly how to play that game, you know? Okay. But he did seem, like, innocent at first, you know? He was...
To a lot of them, not to me. Because I thought he was like Hayden, who won the season, but was like a beach guy that was like, I'm just going to play dumb, like dumb stuff. Yeah. And I was like, oh, there you are. I know you're not dumb. I know you're not. I know you're playing everybody, because he had all the girlies wrapped around his fingers. And
he's a player. He was good at that.
A committed relationship. Like, I couldn't be flirting with none of these people.
So you weren't falling for it. You're like, yeah, I'm not buying this shit. I'm not buying it.
No.
Yeah, he definitely was good at that. Yeah. And it's cool that him and his, Angela are still together, and they have this cool relationship. It's weird that they were from like the same place and didn't know each other. That's even weirder. I think Big Brother probably cast them for that reason.
We all just, I mean, they didn't actually know each other before, but we all just accepted that.
Yeah.
Like that, looking back on that, we all should have been like, they fucking know each other, period.
Right? Let's get them out. Yeah.
Each other, but that's just not how it went. So I don't know.
That's weird. I know. It was because you had a lot of young and dumb people in the house, and then you had smart people that were playing the dumb people. You know, it was like, that's kind of how it was.
Yeah. I wanted the smart people playing the dumb people, but no one would listen to me.
Yeah, that's why they didn't like you, because you knew what was up.
You have to be able to convince them in one way or another. In our house, it was comp wins and how hot they thought you were.
Right? That's how it was back then. I'm so glad it's not like that anymore. They've totally
different. It is.
It used to just be girls in bathing suits and men with their shirts off, and young. And I love that. I like Terrence even. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I like that. And he's not even that old. I'm like, they're acting like he's like 70. Like, he's like in his 40s, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
something.
They need more people that age, and older even. I was
the person at 35 in my house.
Yeah, like I can't. That's young. You were young. God, you're in your 30s. Like, unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy that they think he's so old, But yeah, I think Alyssa and Brittany have to go home because they're going to float their way to the end, and they're going to end up with money they don't deserve.
Oh yeah.
It always bothers me. Who did that? God, Derek dragged along. What's her name?
Oh,
Visit Victoria? Is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah. She is one of the biggest floaters I've ever seen, and she did it brilliantly. Like, she didn't even give a fuck. She's like, yeah, I'm a floater, what? But she acted like she wasn't. But she did. He knew. He's like, I have to bring her to the end or I'm not going to win this. He just, Snoopy, what's up? He calls himself Snoopy. You want to come on?
Yeah.
Administration. Yeah. Add to stream. Let's see what he has to say. Snoopy. Snoops. I can't hear you. Yeah, you can't hear you. I could hear him from the other room, and I can't hear him here. They want yeah. Come on in. Okay, yeah, he's a huge fan too. We watch it all the time. Ever since he moved in, and we've been like, oh yeah, well, but we go back. We'll go, let's watch the first season. No, that sucked. That's not what the first season was horrible. The very first episode, we were like, no, let's not watch that. It's lame. So we always go to the second and be like, because he wants to go in the house, but he's not ready yet, he said. And he's really obsessed about the bathrooms. He's like, I don't know if I can go in the house because he likes to take, his time, and
it's a lot. It's a
yeah.
lot. Definitely a quick adjustment, and people will read you and they will talk about you blowing it up if you blow it up, and all there is to talk about the other people in the house. So
oh my God, my favorite moment was Evil Dick farting and then like spraying it, and he kept going in the other room, and then he'd fart while they're in the middle of gameplay. Me and my roommate were on the ground in fetal position laughing our asses off. We were dying. And I told him that, and he's like, well, you know what? You gotta fart. You gotta fart, you just gotta do it. And back then they used to show that. They don't do that anymore. Like if someone had to fart, they're like, okay, we're just gonna record this, show this part. He was so funny, but yeah, it's changed a lot,
It has changed a lot. I wouldn't say that it's gotten, maybe it's gotten a little bit more protective. We still were on Pop TV when I was on, and that was fun because it was like, that's where they had some feeds. They had like After Dark before that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, where they would talk about the show. There would be people on there and eating popcorn or whatever. Yeah.
Different. It's interesting, but
it's boring more so now. That's why I think everyone loves Turner. I love Turner because he'll say something funny on occasion and he's cool, but they don't show all that stuff like they used to unless it's like racist, and then it's all about that. It's like the whole 2 episodes they showed that. 2 episodes it was all about against Kyle. But if you think about it, like as a whole of him being in the house, he wasn't. They would have had more clips if he was that bad. When you think of like Aaron and that crew, you're just like, ooh, that was horrible. Like I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I can't even believe that occurred. I can't even believe I'm associated with a show where that occurred on.
Right?
Yes. Did you? Yeah.
I'm still horrified by it. I just think about it and I start cringing. I just, oh my God, that was so bad. And I still don't like her. I know it's horrible. I don't like Erin. I don't care if she changed her face and got married and had some kids. I'm still traumatized.
Has, 1 million followers somewhere. I don't understand how they get the proper branding. I was cool and open, and I don't have a PR person. I don't have branding. I don't know what they do to get that, but
I don't know either. They hire people because she's from a rich family, isn't she? She probably hired people to rebrand her. You're just frozen. That's how she had enough money to go get a new face and everything. Do you remember she bought a new face?
I did not know that.
I didn't even recognize her. I'm like, that's not Erin. Is that Erin? And it's like she had to change her whole face after the show. I don't know.
I need to go because I need to put the kids.
I know. We need to go too. I'm starving. But okay, we're gonna do part 2 after the show, or maybe when the finale and stuff, so we could talk about it because. So right now for you, it's Taylor and who?
Taylor and I'm gonna say Turner. I hope Taylor and
Turner. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna.
But
if I was a betting woman, I would lose. I would probably lose money on Turner, but I think he's capable of it.
I think he's capable. He's he's not in a terrible position, but
yeah, he's the one we all want to hang out with and just go on a road trip with. So maybe we will someday. Who knows? Okay, we're gonna go.
My dream is to put together an alumni crew to go to Burning Man with. So he's
and you got to tape the whole thing. Do it. I want to see the tape of that. That would be so awesome.
And I definitely have friends that are burners, but it's been a pleasure. And
I know. I love you, girl.
Thank you so much. And
we'll talk soon. We'll talk after.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night. What time is it there? 10?
It's 8:45, so I got
okay.
9 is the whole thing. So
they keep me updated on your drummer boy. Yeah.
Yes, I will.
All right, sweetie. Bye. I'll have better lighting next time. I'll have better lighting, hopefully.
Amazon.
All right. Bye.
I'll talk to you. Bye.